Hey everybody, I'm Lee with Olsen Equine, and today I've got a cool case I want to show you. I'm going to show you how I went from this to this. And there's a lot of factors involved, but I have a specific point that I want to drive home. But first, let's look at both front feet. So they're obviously different, as most horses are, and conformation is a roll, but the right front has lost a shoe and is more upright, and the left foot is the lower foot and has a lot going on. So this is the right front that lost a shoe, but you can tell it's got a dorsal flare that needs to be addressed. Pretty simple, right? It's longer at the toe than it is proximally. So we're going to take a little bit off. Well, it's still longer distally than it is proximally, right? So one thing that is a cool way to know without x-rays is you put your rasp, we use our Heller rasp, and you can see a gap proximally and it's tight at the toe. So looking at x-rays confirms that. So if we rasp just a little bit more off, going at the same plane as the coffin bone, we remove all distortion. And you have to be very careful doing this because you can overdo it. But as long as you're putting your rasp up there, as you can see, it's not perfectly flush, but the last thing I want to do is overdo it, overthin the hoof wall, and then all hell breaks loose. Seriously, this can be a very bad thing. We actually stopped using a buffer to prevent overthinning the wall, but on cases like this, you have to remove the distortion. But always be careful. And I learned this from two great men. The first one, Blaine Chapman. A long time ago when I was going through basic certification, when I knew I needed to get better, Blaine came and shod with me for a day. And we had a bunch of horses lined up, and he was just going ahead of me and getting things ready, taking shoes off, prepping stuff. And I get to this one horse that had very run-forward feet, and I just solved the problem by setting the shoes back was my solution then. Well, I get to this one, and his foot looks absolutely perfect. So I just nail the shoe back on. Looks the best it's ever looked. And I said, "What'd you do to that horse?" He said, "I didn't do nothing. I just topped it." Light bulb moment for sure. Second one, my buddy Dusty Franklin. I go up to his place for his pre-certification week that he has where you just get to shoe horses, and it's amazing. If you ever get the chance, please go. But I'm shoeing this horse, and I'm trimming it, trying to make it look good, and I can't make it look good. And I'm struggling with this thing for over an hour just on the front feet, and he comes up and within 10 seconds he tops the feet is all he does, and it looks absolutely amazing. I would encourage everyone, no matter who you are or what you do, seek help from others because there's always more to learn, and it's just going to help you grow. All right, let's get to the problem foot. So looking at the bony column alignment, you can tell he's very flat. He's negative. It's not tipped down like he should be, a little positive. So we did just what we showed you. We trimmed him how you should, top and bottom. And it's still not good enough. We need to be more proactive this time than the last guy was. So when you look at this foot, you can tell this horse has caudal heel failure, meaning the heels are dropping down, and we need to support that. So we trimmed it up, and it's good, but you can tell that it's still not great. So I'm going to break a rule. I'm going to show you somebody else's shoeing, but this horse is only at 4 weeks, and you could tell they set the shoe back, and this foot is just dropping to the ground in the back. But it improves when you pull the shoe off. Why is that? It's because the frog actually gets contact on the ground, so the palmar angle improves. It gets better. Looking at the solar side, you can see the heels are crushing. The lateral heel has a lot of atrophy. The medial heel does too, but the frog's actually distorting towards the medial heel. It's always the last to distort. So we're going to use Comfort Mix by Mustad, and we're going to support the back half of his foot, trying to relieve it. We're using an eventer. Since it's a barrel horse, it works really well, and a 3D frog support wedge pad. The goal is to float the heels so we can load the frog, because as you can see here, it is just crushing the lateral heel, and that's confirmation. I would have liked to put more length, but this is a barrel horse, and we need to keep the shoes on, so we'll reassess next time we see him. I think he turned out great. I think this is really a good shoeing, and hopefully we can get to where we can take the pads off and just have him in a normal shoe with a very healthy hoof. That would be my goal. The horse is already doing great, and that's the beauty of the 3D frog pads, is you can use them as a prosthetic to make them feel good until their foot actually is good. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great day, and God bless America.